What is your favorite movie? I'll give you a second to think about that. Have you got it? Good. Now let me ask you another question. Is the lead character of that film a white male? According to Stacy Smith, in her paper titled Gender Inequality in Popular Films, there is a 73.1% chance that the lead character of any given film is a white male. This gender dimorphism is not unique to today either, and goes back to as far back as the introduction of cinematography in the early 1900s. For the past 100 years, we have seen men dominate the cinema, and this has had huge implications for our society. Seeing this many men per day has shifted our perception of reality, and it is up to us, the consumers, to speak out against this. Producers often, when making a movie, are presented with a lot of choices. One of these choices is who to cast for their film. Producers will often gravitate towards white male leads due to them being seen as a safe option. This should not be the case. Why is it that women being cast as the lead character in any given film is seen as a risky option? Well, for any given film with a successful female lead, there are several other films with successful male leads. This feeds into the idea that white males are the successful roles in any film. We also see this gender inequality portrayed through movie dialogue. In over 2,000 films studied by Hannah Anderson and Michael Daniels, 3/4 of all of these films had over 60% of all their dialogue geared towards men. This massive gender dimorphism has shaped our culture in massive ways. And one way it has shaped our culture can be seen in the internet. When the internet was first created back in the 1990s, it was mostly used by males. The few women that were on there were far and few in between, and were often called out as liars or were harassed for simply being women on the internet. This harassment led many women to masquerade as males on the internet in order to have an easier time on the internet. Another result of this that has shaped our culture is the way me and you would perceive an anonymous user online. It is oftentimes the case when you meet an anonymous user online that you would perceive them as a white male until proven wrong. This stereotype of white males being the dominant users of the internet has been largely shaped by cinematography and their dominance of white men in cinema. When on average you are seeing more men per day than women, your subconscious starts to believe that maybe there are more men. However, times are beginning to change. In recent years, we have begun to see even more lead roles taken up by women and ethnic leads. For example, the most recent success of a movie would happen to be Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and in their casting of Daisy Ridley and John Boyega in Star Wars. Star Wars is traditionally seen as a white male-oriented franchise, and because of this, many people were surprised when they heard that a female and an African male were going to be cast as the lead roles for this film. However, The Force Awakens went on to become the third highest grossing film of all time. The desire for more diverse movies is there. All the producers need to know is that we want it. In conclusion, we have seen that having the gender dimorphism of men to women in film has shaped our culture in extreme ways, and has shaped the way that we perceive others and our environment. It is up to us to show the producers that we want change in our movies. A quick way to determine if a movie is gender equal is through the Bechdel-Wallace test that involves 3 simple rules. Rule 1, if the movie must have 2 or more women in the movie. Rule 2, these women must talk to each other about. Rule 3, something besides men. If we can avoid movies that are not gender equal and talk out online through social media, the forum boards, and rating and movie reviews, we can let producers know that we want change, and we want it now.